The orbital station Varela 9 was known for many things. Its translucent promenade floors, the old war relics mounted above docking gates, and a nightly karaoke bar where starfarers from 12 civilizations came to drink away memories they could never fully drown. On most cycles, the bar's neon haze flickered over a crowd too tired to talk and too drunk to remember the next day. But on this particular night, something unusual walked in. Susan Rivers, a human linguistics researcher whose curiosity often outpaced her sense of self-preservation, and Evan Hale, her quiet but perceptive engineer companion. Evan scanned the room, uneasy. Susan. This place is full of Lorash war veterans, big ones, the kind that bite through hull plating. They won't bite me, she said matter-of-factly, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. Not unless they dislike music. That's exactly the problem, Evan muttered. The Lorash were towering, stone-skinned aliens with deep-set gold eyes and temperaments forged in the galaxy's oldest known war. Karaoke, however, they adored, though not in the way most species did. For them, music was sacred, a link to their ancestral warriors. Humans, by comparison, usually came off as noisy mammals with too many emotions. But Susan had never cared much for galactic expectations. The bar's old karaoke machine, a retrofitted pre-war relic with mismatched holographic panels, blinked as she approached it. She scrolled through the multilingual database, while Evan sat at the corner table, hoping she'd pick something safe, something human, something that wouldn't start a diplomatic incident. Susan, naturally, selected the opposite. When she stepped on stage, side-eyed by aliens built like basalt statues, the room dipped into a low murmur. The bartender, a four-armed Salathi, paused while polishing a glass. "What is she?" whispered a scaled Tyrell captain. "Human," replied another. "But why is she up there?" the Tyrell pressed. "Humans sing when they're happy or sad or bored or breathing," someone mumbled. Susan lifted the mic. The screen in front of her glowed with symbols. Not human, not even remotely. They were sharp, hooked glyphs that looked carved rather than printed. Lorashi, an ancient Lorash language that had died out thousands of years earlier, spoken only in war chants and funerary rites. The modern Lorash barely understood fragments of it. Most humans had never heard of it. Susan, however, had spent 5 months obsessively studying it. The first note she sang was quiet, a low, resonant, tremoring hum, so deep it seemed impossible for a human throat to produce. Conversation died instantly. Every Lorash ear frill in the bar snapped upright. Evan felt a chill crawl down his arms. The second note rose in pitch, layered with harmonic overtones she had practiced in secret. The room vibrated. Glasses trembled. A distant table of reptilian traders froze mid-sip. Then she began the lyrics, not approximations, not translations, the original Lorashi words. Jar, Kavental Ur, Marushen Kathalan. They weren't just words. They were history. Phrases that had once echoed across volcanic battlefields, sung by Lorash champions long before faster-than-light travel or alliances or treaties. One by one, the Lorash veterans stood. Their stone-textured skin shifted colors, deepening to a war-slate blue, the shade of their honored memory rituals. Their chests expanded with inhaled reverence. Some bowed their heads. Others stared openly, their expressions suspended between disbelief and awe. By the third verse, the bar had fallen completely silent. Evan watched, stunned. He'd seen Susan work through ancient tomes before, but he had never witnessed her bring a dead language back to life, and certainly not in front of the last people who considered it sacred enough to die for. The oldest Lorash present, a massive figure with a scar cleaving his left brow, took a step forward. His voice was gravel when he whispered, "Shalathun," the song of the fallen. It was a song only the greatest Lorash war singers had been allowed to perform, a song reserved for heroes long gone. And Susan sang it as if she had been born from their ashes. When she reached the chorus, her voice soared, soft yet powerful, like a promise made at the dawn of civilization. The Lorash veterans raised their right arms across their chests, fists over their heart plates. The Lorash salute, a gesture given only to the worthy, to the honored, to the ones who carried their legacy. Susan kept singing, unaware she had brought an entire species to ceremonial attention. When the final vibrating note faded, dissolving into the humming air vents, Susan lowered the microphone gently. The room remained still. For 5 long seconds, no one breathed. Then the old Lorash veteran struck his fist to his chest with a thunderous crack. The others followed, a rolling wave of sound like stone collapsing on stone. Evan braced himself until he realized they weren't attacking. They were saluting. The elder stepped forward. "Human," he rumbled, his voice trembling. "How do you know the dead tongue?" Susan smiled, soft, respectful. "I study languages. I found fragments in a forgotten archive on Earth. I didn't want it to disappear forever." The veteran blinked, stunned. That song. No Lorash under the current star cycle can sing it. Even we veterans know only echoes. Yet you, his voice cracked. You honored our ancestors. Before Susan could answer, he dipped his head, a bow no Lorash had given to a human in recorded history. "You have the heart of a war singer," he said, "and the courage of a blade strider." Evan choked on his drink. "Blade striders? You mean those 11-foot armored champions that single-handedly took down dreadnoughts?" "Yes," the Lorash replied simply. "Her spirit matches theirs." Susan blushed. "I just like old languages." The elder turned to the room. "Tonight we honor Susan Rivers, human of the dead tongue." The entire bar echoed his proclamation. Evan leaned closer to her. "I can't believe you just became a cultural icon by doing karaoke." She laughed softly. "I told you they wouldn't bite me." "Yeah," Evan muttered, "because they're too busy worshiping you." The Lorash veterans began chanting Susan's name, slow, rhythmic, resonant, almost ritualistic. The bartender offered them drinks on the house, while a group of Tyrell approached Evan to ask whether all humans sang like that. "No," Evan said seriously. "Just her." Susan looked around, taking in the unexpected warmth, the impossible camaraderie. She hadn't meant to impress anyone. She had simply wanted to honor a language she found beautiful, tragic, and forgotten. But sometimes, in a galaxy filled with old wounds and older memories, honoring the past did more than revive history. It healed the living. As the bar erupted into celebration, the elder Lorash raised his glass and declared, "Tonight, humanity has earned a place in our stories." And far above Virela 9, the stars shimmered with ancient light, listening perhaps to a song they had not heard in thousands of years.